And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is NinjaDC joining in for another podcast video. And join me this time is Carlos.
Hello there. This is Gunmetal Gator here, ready to make your day a much more happier one with a smiling gator face.
Yay!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then next up, Second and Day.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? Your favorite random couple here.
That's true.
You're just busy doing your dress game, aren't you?
Yes. No.
All right.
I'm ready. Let's go.
I'll have to be the enthusiasm for the both of us for the immediate future. Hope you don't mind.
No, that's my job.
Oi. Well, you're preoccupied from your job right now.
No. Okay, how are you guys doing? I hope you have a good day and it's going to be fun.
Let's podcast.
Yes.
All right. To give sort of a heads up, just because to all your listeners, yes, we are this is being recorded on Memorial Day Friday, and yes, we are aware that the My Little Pony thing has just released, but because of conflicting schedules, we're going to push that back for a few days, but we are going to get on that. This time is going to be focused on Memorial Day and summer. But before that, I guess we'll keep up with all we've been up to. So, who wants to go first?
All right. Well, I guess that'd be us this time. So, what geek cred building things have we been up to?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I don't know if that counts.
I don't either, actually. I don't know very much about Animal Crossing. I was never a huge gamer geek.
No.
But
I'm making a what is that in Inspired Island by what's it called, Indiana Jones. So there's hidden bells on my Iceland. So when people come and visit my Iceland, I will give them 20 minutes to find whatever bells that they can, and if they can find it, they can keep it if they can get to it. Or if they can find it. I didn't make it easy. As I said, it's inspired by Indiana Jones, so you have to go up mountains or move stuff or jump over stuff, or it's really hidden somewhere on the Iceland. So that's fun.
All right, and in carrying on our Studio Ghibli quest to see
that's right.
the entire slew, we just recently checked off Ocean Waves, the made-for-TV movie one that tends to get written off as just kind of a boring one. That, tends to actually. Ocean Waves, surprisingly, not only has its defenders, but it has a handful of really passionate defenders calling it poignant and underrated. I think we were both more in the former camp.
Well, I think I was surprised about the animation styles, clashing with each other. It's not it's jarring. It's actually really beautiful, and when you get used to it, it's actually really nice. And also, I was worried about the main character being a real jerk, because we saw a small what's that called, where they talk about it before we saw the movie.
We saw basically a clip of the Ocean Waves is the one about, the teenage love triangle, teenagers at the end of high school, and, namely all the ways that very often sucks and nobody knows what they're doing, and
I thought it was
lots
Red
of things
Turtle.
to
I'm sorry.
act melodramatically too.
Yeah,
but,
never mind what I said. I take it all back. What I was talking about was Red Turtle. We talked about that last time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, everything you just said sounded like it was about ocean waves.
No, it's not.
Okay, so while Tay resets her thoughts here,
it's just me. Like, we've been watching so much new stuff, so it's just like all bundled up in my brain.
Well, surprisingly, beautifully drawn, but boring. Like, it's very, very easy to imagine people describing both Red Turtle and Ocean Waves that way. I gotta say, if you see no value in Red Turtle beyond that, you're a little bit basic. That would be my judgmental accusation. Ocean Waves,
Guess I'm basic.
Yeah. Okay. Besides the controversial moment, like Ocean Waves might be a problematic movie, but yeah, that one, it was supposed to give the younger staff in Studio Ghibli a made-for-TV movie to kind of flex their muscles, their ability to work on a budget, and someday, overtake the masters. And it's not that they don't have any muscles to flex, but one, there are actually some signs you can see that this is maybe not the most experienced crew. Some of the editing is a little straight. Well, specifically, some of the editing feels a little amateurish. Like, you know how a Ghibli scene, if it's starting to run its course, the protagonist thinking reflectively, then you might cut for a second down to something they're looking at, or down to something they're about to head to, that it's been established is what's going to come next, and then back to them closing out the scene real quick, and then back to this next scene. Ocean Waves has a few shots where, okay, the scene is heading in that direction, and then it just throws in a brief second of a completely different clip. You have no idea what it is, what it's supposed to be. It goes by so fast, it's almost jarring. And then, the scene will close out, and then you'll eventually get your explanation for that bit of randomness. Like, okay, well, the next scene is here, and this is why it features all of those things in that next shot, not in any way suggesting that was intentional. It's like it's got the notes, but not the body language, not the music. It can, you can just see it being written out in the script that way, what it was supposed to be in theory. But okay, that's a little wonky. The teenage stuff does end up working out to be that, even though it's got its finger on the pulse of, indeed, how these poor clueless kids act, or what it's like to be these poor clueless kids, some of the ways it has them respond from there are kind of the coming of age cliches from 20, 30 years ago. You know how it is that the best friend he's not going to touch the girl because of his honor code, or you know how it is, the best friend has to punch the best friend and not explain why because he's mad. Or it's going to come across as a bit, I can see why people say CW drama, because it feels like it's feeding into some of those cliches at points that are less how it actually is in real life and more how people act when they're trying to imitate a melodrama because that's all they can think to do, or they are immature and think that's real life, except the movie itself seems to be playing it like that's just real life. So.
Well, I just looked it up, and it was the one that I thought were a little boring, but was okay to look at. Where the
see, that's I can understand. I can roll with that reaction more to Ocean Waves, which.
Yes.
So, as you can tell, this is kind of the mixed reception one of those, stories in a nutshell, where it thinks the interesting part is, when the characters actually get together and not the relationship between the two of them that would put them together, or not the personal issues going on inside that they work through to get together. It thinks that getting together is the interesting part.
Yeah, I don't agree with them ending up together. They just have too many problems.
I don't know about that,
Like,
because
it's based on them being mean to each other and like, what did they hate each other a couple of times? And I'm just like, what? He always loved her. Well, then he might have toned it down just a tad.
Okay, you dumped a lot on people at once there, but yeah, basically that's the other thing. There's a couple of underage assault and battery moments in this. Two of the love interests slap each other in the face a couple of times because tempers break, which is like, okay, I can believe that a couple of stupid kids would, I guess, do that and maybe cringe at themselves years later and feel bad. You're making this seem like you're playing this like it's a little more understandable or a little more water under the bridge than it probably should be.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, we can circle this all day. Extremely mixed on Ocean Waves. I'm still expecting it to be better than Tales from Earthsea or Earwig and the Witch. I hope they'll surprise me, not expecting them to.
Actually, I think like I feel that Earthsea is more pretty. Yeah.
Well, Earthsea had a theatrical budget, so that would make sense.
Yeah, but that's it. Wow, that's.
I mean, I don't think anyone questions that Earthsea is beautiful. That's really not the issue people have with that film.
No, it's just boring.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard that. Yeah, Ocean Waves does look pretty good, although apparently it went over budget and over production schedule, which I guess is why they didn't try another one of those made for TV movies, even though you'd think Isao Takahata would have been proud, he and Miyazaki, because that was, issues that studios used to have with them in their younger days.
But this is not a movie you would recommend to anybody if they said like, oh, what Studio Ghibli film do you think like I should watch? This one of the ones that would come on top of my head.
Yeah, like I said, it does have its handful of defenders calling it poignant, so maybe just seeing it's where it manages to those kids who don't know what they're doing and their adolescent problems they're trying to deal with, maybe like I don't know, maybe that just really does hit the nail on the head for a few people. The girl's parents are going through a divorce that's she's been moved to the country setting in response to, and misses her home in Tokyo and downs a few Coke and whiskeys. Cokes and what's the plural of Coke and whiskey? Well, do you pluralize them both? A few Cokes and whiskeys?
A lot of alcohol.
Yeah, there's a scene with her boys like, because they randomly swipe a hotel together. It's like, there's some beers in here if you need. Make me some Cokes and whiskeys.
Yeah, that's a little.
Downing those while going on about her problem until she passes out. Like, I could totally see a teenager at their low point doing that.
Yeah, but this movie is definitely not a good role model for how you are getting a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or how you should.
We did that already.
Do this stuff. But I'm just saying.
But yeah, like as far as how good it looks, like Isao Takahata had this early low budget production that I think he almost had to scrape together pretty much on his own. Like I don't even know if he had like major studio funding. It was called Ghosh the Cellist. And I had little problems with that one too, but I mean, yeah, of the two, not only would I side with it in general, I would have to say that one was, if nothing else, that one was pretty. That one had some just still establishing shots that just really did the trick. That I mean, if you if you want like that to be some of your muscle power, some of your honest to God recommendation force, I mean, that is where I would say that's the level I would say you'd have to hit. That's an example of like a Studio Ghibli movie honestly getting something out of what it had. This was more like, okay, the potential is there, the watchability is there. I mean, if I were to grade it, I'd say like, oh, yeah, 6 out of 10, 6.5. I mean, it passed the time. I don't know if somebody said like, okay, I'm a Ghibli completionist, but only if it's honestly going to entertain me. I don't know if I'd recommend this one.
Let me see. So, because you're just going through like Ghibli films you haven't seen. Have you done the When Rises yet?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I actually saw that in theater when it hit theaters over here in the U.S. after it first came out.
And I have just not that long time ago, I watched it by myself for the first time, and it's now my top 5 Ghibli movie.
Yeah, Wind Rises is dense, but I mean it's a great movie.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, because like I think that's like the last, at least in my mind, the last really great Ghibli film that really holds up. I think there was the other one. I can't remember. Like I forget the Ghost and all that. I have not seen that one yet.
When Marnie was there, which
that's it. When Marnie was there,
people thought was going to be Studio Ghibli's swan song, but then they did the Red Turtle, and then good old Goro came out with Earwig and the Witch.
I think Red Turtle could go on to being like good.
I mean, I haven't seen Earwig and the Witch, but yeah, those 3 last movies.
Isn't Earwig the Witch? Oh no, that's a 3D one.
Yes.
I was thinking of the other witch,
Mary and the Witch's Flower or something like that.
Yeah, which is I was like, wait, that was
not watched that.
Yeah, okay, I'm inclined to say that okay, this is not Studio Ghibli considered. This is the actual next generation, coming into their own, which it's a little bit of a shame that couldn't be through Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli might go out with Miyazaki Sr., like, unless Goro, I don't know, suddenly pulls like a Rocky Balboa for the ages. I don't think he's carrying Studio Ghibli on his own, and I don't think anybody else seems like they're taking up the task. Everybody else who was ever positioned to either moved on from Studio Ghibli or decided they didn't want to be a director after all, or dropped dead, which is tragic.
Yes, that's tragic, yeah.
But not so up for grouping Studio Ponic in. I am kind of for grouping Miyazaki and Takahata movies from before Studio Ghibli in, because honestly, like, Studio Ghibli, in context, it kind of plays as the story of them, like, just this lifelong project of these two guys and their close associates just wanting to find a way to do what they love, and finding ways on the side and through various studios, and but starting their own studio that was a bit of a false start, and then starting Studio Ghibli, which like you see their earlier movies, and it contextualizes so much. So I'm for grouping in your Ghost the Cellists and your Lupin the Thirds and your Nausicaas of the Valley of the Wind, which everybody knows there's no reason really wouldn't count anyway, but good stuff. So we actually, and we did watch all of those as well in attempt to, but
that's true.
What do you call it? Trying to watch all the movies in a category. Whatever. This exploration has included all of those as well. Now I only need Earwig and the Witch and Tales from Earthsea. So go figure. I saved the most infamous for last. I think Day needs a couple more.
I don't know.
Castle in the Sky.
I'm still unsure if I watched that or not. I have to see a trailer or something.
Okay, I'm working on that. But
But that's it.
Okay, so our segment here ended up being our story of the Studio Ghibli kick. But
Woo!
I also saw Rambo 1 at long last.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If anybody's interested in that. Sylvester Stallone's franchise that I think some people wish hadn't been a franchise. Yeah, I'll just say for that though, if you haven't seen Rambo 1, it is really, really not the movie you would think it'd be.
Yeah, it's Rambo 2 and 3 are really what define the franchise, but 1 is sort of its own thing.
I cannot wait for a second to see.
Yeah, I have heard that 2 and 3 are where the image of Rambo with his giant bandolier gun just single-handedly winning wars by himself. I've heard that those are more where that comes from. But 1, it far and away has a reputation as the best one, and you can kind of see why watching it. Like, this is that's a movie that wants to deal with the issues veterans face and does it well, honestly. And has its over-the-top action scenes, but I mean...
Yeah, but it doesn't shy away about, like, it can also be good guys that's, doing bad things. Yeah, I mean, somebody who has trauma can be sympathetic and a hero and also acting in the wrong, which, I mean, I think that goes without saying, and I mean, that's not so much the point as it is something it's, not afraid to portray while making its point. Yeah.
And portray well.
Yeah, my favorite is actually the third one, but we'll get to it at some point.
I thought you said the fourth one that he...
Oh, the fourth one, yeah, that's right. I always forget because...
Yeah, the one where it'd been a long time, and along with Rocky Balboa, he brought back Rambo.
For some odd reason, it's almost like the Star Wars ones. It seems like it's in the past, but it's in the future, and it seems like it should have been the third movie. Do you get what I'm saying? Before the fourth, if that makes any sense.
The third movie.
I know that
it just makes sense that the third would be the Legacy sequel.
Yes. That's how it always is. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Okay. Yeah. We seem like we're going a little too deep into our own conversation circles here, so I think I might have to turn the mic over.
Next.
All right. Carlos, you ready to talk, or you want me to go first?
You go first. I'm almost done.
All right. But just for me, not much to go to. I just finished the anime series Don't Toys Me Miss Nagatoro. Put that off and finally watched it. I was like, yeah, that was pretty fun and interesting series. And then I'm going from that to another like high school romance-ish anime, which is like My Dress Up Darling, which are basically these are all the famous anime of past seasons that this sort of I've missed my to-do list. But the main thing I've sort of been doing that I finally finished is I finally beat Elden Ring.
Oh, congrats.
Sort of accidentally, but it's like I made a tweak when I was doing the final boss, which had me lock for a while.
I actually just watched a funny video today because I know that some of our friends is playing Elden Ring too, and I saw this Let Me Solo Her guy. That's amazing. And I posted that to them, and they were just like, "Nah, that's not going to happen." But basically, it's this guy that's like butt naked with two samurai swords and a pot over his head that solos that insane boss. I don't even remember her name, but geez,
like the blood swords and all that.
What?
Like butterflies and like she like.
Yeah, he solos all of her by himself. I'll send you the link later. It's insane. It took him like I think over 3,000 times to get it right, but now he helps like people solo her by soloing her, and I'm just like, What? That's insane. And me that had trouble with Metal Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog too.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
yeah. That's like I didn't technically beat her because like she's an optional boss to basically beat the
Yeah.
game, and as like you can sort of explore the area afterwards.
Yeah.
It surprised me, but yeah, I've got to her, played her a few times. Like, wow, this is really tough, but like I'll just put it aside for now, just because
Yeah.
yeah, it's like one of those. There's like the one thing I dislike about Elden Ring is like compared to other Souls games, there's sort of a lot more luck in this
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how like
Yeah.
enemies acts and like sort of actions they take. There's sort of like a real randomness to it, where and also just like because the open world nature of how you build your character, like you can sort of create glass cannon like things. So like you could theoretically easy a boss, but if it doesn't do this exact thing or this other thing, you get completely like run over.
Well, that's not fair. Like a game should be like, oh, you build a character the way that you want, and you can grind or do stuff to power it up so you can get through the game. That's how it's supposed to work, or at least that's all of the games that I have been playing in my childhood so far. Unless like you had to learn patterns, I will admit with Metal Sonic or Soleil Boss or with like Scar from Lion King, like you had to know what to press on your gamer pad to know how to go.
I will say it's mostly true, like in terms of, like if you do level up, you can sort of help overcome bosses.
Or know the pattern of the boss. But there's like bosses that are insane, like Undertale. Like when you come to the last and you're just like, oh, now it's finally going to be over and I'm going to be done with this game. You're sitting there for like 5 extra hours because you're trying to beat it.
I remember that. Well, not really trying to beat it, but just like there's like that. It's like, oh, the game's over, but is it not? And then it's like you're stuck there and you can't really pause it. It's like shoot.
No.
I love the experience though. Like the ending, I love the ending. All that. Of Under. But it was like a bit one of those things where like, oh shoot, I really should have paused this and picked it up later.
Should have paused it. Should have saved on the emulator before I did this. But how could I have known? And then the dragon comes and.
Yeah, but that's still one thing that's under my to-do list is the first 2 parts of Underrune.
Oh, really? Okay. Have you done the being malicious ending or evil ending?
No, I just did the good ending for Undertale.
Okay, tell me if you're ever going to go to the evil ending. I will see you in like 2 months. I'm telling you, it took me 8 hours with the last thing that's going to happen there. I was just like, no.
Yeah, but that's one thing. If you're going for like the true, I think as they call it, the genocide ending, is like some parts are easier from what I understand. Like some bosses are very. I think one friend that becomes a boss and that ending is particularly challenging from what I understand.
I saw a speedrunner doing it, and I think it was 3. No. I don't remember, but I was just like, this is impossible. You cannot do this.
The one boss I think that was probably the hardest for me a while was the Muppet.
Oh, the Muppet, yeah.
The spider lady. For like doing the good end.
Yeah, it's been a while since I did the good one, but that's not the one where you're talking with Flowery.
No, like that was just like sort of the, I wouldn't say midway, but like the final boss before you get to like the final bosses.
It's a midway boss. I don't remember those as much as I remember some of the other ones, but I cannot without doing spoilers, so I'm trying not to.
Yeah. But no, yeah, she was just the one with the spider. Like, here comes my spider dance.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's the one thing is like I was frustrated with the boss, but at the same time, I really loved the music playing in the background.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
this is
The
catchy.
music is great in this game. Yeah.
But yeah, my funny story with that is I actually finally beat her after like an hour or two trying to get it, and then I just went up real forward and like I just paused my PlayStation, turned it off. It's like there's like the autosave thing. It didn't autosave that time, so I had to go beat her again.
Oh no.
uh, that's where that's where I learned like okay, make sure I always manually save before we do anything like that. Uh, uh, but yeah, I think where I was going with Elden Ring. Yeah, it was a very interesting game because I like to describe Elden Ring as what it sort of fixes my problem with like Dark Souls, not just
Mm.
like the franchise, but specifically Dark Souls, like Dark Souls 1 and sort of 2 and 3, but mostly just 1 is I like to describe the world as like the world's biggest putt-putt course, where it's like a whole bunch of like miniature versions of larger worlds all sort of crammed together.
Mm.
And like even if you look like the like big like how some people do like world maps to show all the worlds of like Dark Souls, like as everything, it's like fascinating how everything connects, but at the same time like it's like weird. So because like a putt-putt course, it is everything's like sort of shrunk down. Like this really wouldn't be the size of a real kingdom or castle or something like that. Um, but like with Elden Ring, it sort of fixed that by making it like basically spreading all that out over into a large open world and having
Well,
like a bunch of uh mini dungeons in between all that.
yeah, for what I've seen of our friends playing it, it looks really beautiful, and there's a lot of different things that you can do, like builds and stuff that you can do. But it's easy to get lost in it, and it seemed.
Oh, it is
uh,
terribly easy to like get lost.
yeah,
Um,
my friend last time we were there, we were like, he was like, oh, I think I have been here before, and I was like, yeah, you've been walking in circles for 10 minutes.
yeah, because it's not. It's very suggestive in like how what you do next.
Mm.
So I mean, it's good in an organic way, but it's like easy to get lost because it's like a big open world. I think one was like the like Lorraine capital city, which is like I just spent like 30-40 minutes clearing through section trying to find like okay, where's the freaking save point? Thinking there's like a mini boss here. It's like nope, I'll go the other direction. Got killed by some other people. I'll have to do it all over again just because I missed a little turn to get the actual save point. I was like, God dang it.
It
Uh,
reminds me so much of the Final Fantasy X2 or whatever, like the Final Fantasy X game that I got, and I was so disappointed because that was also really hard to. Even I had like the map and everything. I had like this gamer guide, and I just remember going on and on and on because like there was a specific way where you should jump up some uh sides of a cliff, and I was just like, what is going on? Nobody told me about this. Doesn't say that in the guide, that's for sure.
yeah, like for me, I think a game that does it well or like it's very offhand what to do next is like let me see, Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like even stuff like the wind guides your direction, all that. Like it very organically shows you what to do next, but it's not. You still have a general clear sense of direction of what to do. For an Elden Ring, it's like there are times where like, oh, okay, then it's the ashes are pointing in this direction, so something must be over here.
Must be over here in the shadows somewhere. And then a monster jumps out and bites you or whatever.
That's good. That's nice.
Hey,
and
Gator.
good to know. Hi. Guess who's finally available, but just has a super exhausted arm from doing all that shopping.
Yeah. We're talking Elden Ring. Have you been playing that, Gator?
I have not been playing any video games of that sort at all. None of them.
Do you like video games at all?
I do. It's just Aside from my 3DS, I don't really have a PS4 anymore because of some complications.
Mm-hmm. Like, you'd like the Pokemon Dungeon game, right? And stuff like that. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, and he likes Pokemon Dungeons, but I also
Yeah.
he's really big into Persona. If you remember.
Oh, Persona. Oh, yeah. That never got me, I will admit. Like, I've been playing more Fallout, so.
Have you
Yeah.
tried Persona 5? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen people play it. It's just, it's like Elden Ring. I like seeing other people play it. You get what I'm saying, but I don't think it's going to be a game for me. If
I
that
think
makes
you
sense.
might. Yeah, I think you might like Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, really?
Just because, like I said, well, Royal specifically because it sort of even simplifies things. But like Persona 5 is the one where they seem to basically make it a lot more accessible to like other people who have been into Persona. Um, and there are sort of good story elements and all. It's like it's not really too hard. Like I say, I didn't really have to grind for much.
Okay.
And we also said you like traditional like Final Fantasy like turn-based RPG that's sort of like right in that
Yes,
alley.
I still am enjoying playing sometimes Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 10. I will admit. I also sometimes, if I can get it to work, I will play Final Fantasy 7, but my emulator is not working so good with me. So yeah, but the next games on my list is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Snap. So all Pokemon games.
I also highly recommend Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade. Again, one of the games that I like to see other people play. I'm just worried.
I was just watching like a Let's Play from my favorite Let's Player doing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, yeah.
And it just finally got to the end of chapter 3, and I'm just like, well, there's the emotional attachment of this Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Xenoblade 1 only had to take like 1 or 2 chapters for it to just be like, oh, this just got real. I'm fully invested on this main character and his revenge quest. Let's go kill some mechons.
Oh, now I remember. Is it the mercenary mission and all that, or?
Yeah, the mercenary group inside of the.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what was chapter 3, and yeah, that was one of the first emotional
war.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we have second here with magic, like me.
So yeah.
Somebody got into that for me.
Which is a really good thing because, like, I never thought that I would ever play Magic again, actually. So when I was in Denmark, I had a deck and I had, like, stuff going on. Actually went to a couple of tournaments and stuff like that, but stuff happened. I lost my cards, and then I was just like, no, I'm not going to play anymore because I used a lot of money on those cards. So yeah.
For somebody to borrow them and then decide that they were his afterwards.
Yes. But I'm so happy that I got into it now, and I'm trying to make like insane weird decks and driving second crazy.
So
very much.
It's kind of interesting to hear someone getting back to Magic. I mean, I definitely drop off of Magic once I realize how expensive and how
I think it was a nice like come back to my, but I had to like go through the basic stuffs again, and there's still sometimes where I'm like, oh, it doesn't work like that anymore because, like, remember what I said, it was a long time ago I had my deck, so a lot of stuff has been changing, and also my the decks that I have now are not the same colors, so they have like different playing styles.
Little bit.
Yeah. So
Endgame seems to be a little different.
Yeah. So I'm trying to adjust to not being so trigger happy, because like that's what I could do with my old deck. Like if I had 5 cards on my hand on my 5th turn, something was wrong with my old deck. I cannot do that anymore.
Alright, but now we're getting into the complex stuff
Yes.
that you only know if you play Magic as well, so...
Only if you're a Magic nerd, I'll just see myself.
I will say there is a way to play
Mm-hmm.
budgetary style. I think I've compromised with myself, like, okay, strictly go for the best budget decks, like, try to make the stuff that can do a lot with a little, and, then just, lace it with maybe, occasional 2 or 3 Exodia type plays, like, you get it off, you can win immediately, just, make that what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
Bide my time and keep up until I can activate something particularly good. That's my most with the least money plan.
Yes.
But Carlos, you ready to say what else you've been up to?
I was what was the thing I was saying? What was I saying before? Before the conversation got derailed.
I think the last thing you jumped into was something about mentioning your Xenoblade Chronicles watching with someone, and then...
Yeah, like from the Let's Player Nico B.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard about him. He's a guy who just makes incredible content, like really entertaining stuff. Like before he was just like a one-man show before he finally got an editor to deal with like the headaches, because before he was kind of like a workaholic at YouTube, trying to make one Let's Play video a day, and that was fully edited by himself. It was kind of like stressful for him. But even with his output still being relatively active for each week, being like 2 to 3 videos, including a stream, he's one of the most entertaining people I've come across in my life. Such a good, honest guy, and his humor is very juvenile yet endearing at the same time. That's just how I describe him. Just a pure soul. But and he's also the guy behind the whole Danganronpa meme about Nagito Kameda and bagels.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who made that meme.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. If you have someone to blame for that, blame it on Nico B. It was all him. It was all him. I was even there when the bagel meme happened. I was there.
I don't even remember that now. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
You mean, hey, why don't you have some help, bagel?
Oh. What? I think it flew over my head.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be much help there, but did we get cut off? What's up?
I just think he had muted himself. But this is my 2 cents sort of on...
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. I'm back. I'm just being interrupted. I was just going to say, like, it's just, like... The thing I was trying to say was I wanted to say was a lot of things about the for stuff for like a Marvel. Like I actually watched something recently, even though I really tried hard not to watch it because of my interests and certain other faculties. But because someone was too inspired by a certain Marvel show. And don't worry, we're not talking about the Multiverse of Madness. That's definitely something that happened that I haven't bothered to watch. Of
We
course, I'm
haven't watched
talking.
it either yet.
Yeah, I'm talking about Moon Knight.
Yay! We watched Moon Knight too.
Yeah. You might understand why I was trying so hard to avoid it, but someone made too much fan art of her, of a certain character.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got
Oh,
the
you are
spoilers.
Gunmetal Gator.
And look, I have my own pet peeves about Egyptian mythology being tossed around, and certain gods and goddesses having different roles in the show, including one being that wasn't a goddess in the original mythology, but then thanks to whatever Marvel heads came up with the idea of making them a villainess, we now have Admit.
Mhm.
And I am confused, like, mentally now. I'm like, because like the show is basically like Kishnu, basically a god of punishment in the universe, basically sets up a guy to being like their Moon Knight. Though we don't really know that at the beginning. At first, we start out with like a bit of a psychological thriller, like seeing a guy basically black out and seeing like lots of people falling dead to their faces once he comes back awake. And it slowly dawns on them that he's basically a split personality of another guy who's a mercenary.
Spoilers.
Yeah. What's the spoilers?
Yeah, oh, spoiler, sorry. Sorry for the audience, And also Derek, if you haven't seen Moon Knight.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's basically like this interesting show that tries to be as unmarvel as possible, with the executive producer basically funding his own acting chops to be shown on screen. Oscar Isaac being perhaps one of the best actors to show dissociative identity disorder possible. Like, seriously, makes you think it's another person.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's necessarily how it works, because it seems in it's in a sort of Hollywood way, but
it's very Hollywood. It's still very Hollywood, in which like it's like a completely different self instead of like just another facet of oneself that acts erratically different from what they usually act. That's usually what a dissociative identity disorder is. Just to let you people know. Just remember, whenever you see a split personality on television, know that that's just Hollywood's invention of the actual mental condition, and that it's been severely misaligned for many years on cinema.
That's true. But I think like this one comes a little closer.
Yes, a little closer in terms of origins behind the split personality for sure, because that would do it for someone. So basically it's like this Marvel superhero show that doesn't feel like a superhero show, because it's about Egyptian gods and goddesses and their avatars and such.
Yeah. Which I was really surprised about, because I really liked the Egyptian lores and mythos and stuff like that. Like how close they come to.
I mean, Marvel has drawn from other mythologies before, but this really does feel a little different. The mystery aspect, the nature of so much of it. I've seen articles titled, "There's no room for the FC for a show like Moon Knight. Can Marvel really do a show like Moon Knight?" And I just want to respond with that Sesame Street Muppet being like, "Well, I just did." What it was who said that? Like, on that one, people who saying no, I'm like, well, sorry, you kind of lose. They did. And honestly, you can, if you're trying to go with odd ducks out, you can start old Netflix shows that were even more departure-like from those. It's specifically on the MCU's comparative optimism. Basically, MCU is a sprawling all genres, all Marvel's creation, I think, at this point, and beautiful with that, and as long as it keeps delivering, I'll keep to it. So that's my spiel. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, continuing on, like, the goddess characters in particular, have been some of the most interesting characters, like Taiwan Webb from episode 5, which is basically a sweetheart. Like, meanwhile, the big bad villainess, the goddess that was in charge of, like, the former Moon Knight, Harrow, like, it's kind of interesting that I'm kind of sort of partly supportive of Amit.
Yes.
That's the problem.
No, it's
Like,
not.
No, it's
Well,
just
they do give you some philosophical struggles there, and especially since they keep it like a little bit vague on whether she's like definitely getting rid of some people who would never actually have done anything wrong at any point, or whether it's like exactly how that works. It's a lot of there's.
But you cannot do this. Like, if you're going to do that, you erase like everybody, because there's no human alive that haven't been doing something bad in their life or going to do something in their life. That's just not possible.
It's
So the scale is a little bit
crooked if you think about it, but like for me, it's just kind of more of like, okay, main character deals with an unlikable god who very much manipulated him into actually getting into this position following a certain family member. But meanwhile, on Amit's side, it's just like actually understanding, even if it's someone who basically goes against her own judgment because of how faithful they were to her cause, and I'm just like, God dang it. How could I be following the actual villain? This is not Loki.
It also helps that she's the female gator.
Even though Ahmed is supposed to be a chimera with a gator head, a lion's mane, and a hippopotamus's body, but it said it's all crocodile, and it's just, God, why did they make it so? I can't even say the words because it's just. That's it. Sexy. It's sexy. God dang it. I said it. Seriously, Marvel. How could you do this? I literally had to deal with
They
5
know what
straight days
sells,
of
Gator.
5 straight days of showing this fan art before I broke down and actually watched the dang show.
Oh.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
5 straight days of the artists keep on doing the same thing. It could drive a man insane.
A good comparison might be Death Note. Like, if you're on light side in Death Note, you'll probably be on antagonist goddess's side. If you're on L's side, then you're gonna be on protagonist god's side.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the very least, it kind of makes sort of like the person giving the powers, like, basically morally, like, gray, like, in terms of, like, how nice they are, and I'm like, okay, like, even though I don't like the guy, I gotta give props. You are indeed something that's, like, not anyone wants at all in their life. If you're going to send
as in the guy who looks like Kevin Bacon but isn't. Him.
I'm talking about Kishnu.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who wants to be the crocodile's avatar, right?
No, I'm talking about the god for Moon Knight.
The god himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Kishnu. No, I'm not talking about Harrow.
Okay.
Harrow's the one that's working under Ahmed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
these god names, I have to work on that. Egypt, you had trouble with memorable names. I'll give you Anubis. I guess I'll give you Horus and Osiris, just because. Yeah, as I don't know, they were as the main two you had to hear about all in middle school. I guess they were just memorable enough. I'll even give you Ra, maybe especially Ra, past
I
that,
mean,
like you had some problems.
I mean, Raw is kind of unfortunate because that's because of Yu-Gi-Oh information seeping into your head because of that. That's why it's so easy to remember.
Ra's name was also Ray. You could pronounce it either way, and yet the god of the sun is Ray. That is not hard to remember.
No, don't give me Star Wars. Don't give me the Star Wars. But
flashbacks, huh?
Yeah.
No. I haven't watched the new trilogy yet, but still. But yeah, I guess afterwards of like watching Moon Knight and considering like it's at least not as bad. It's at least watchable compared to Iron Fist. I mean, in fact, a lot of things is more
watched Iron Fist, but I don't think we're going to.
I'm almost, I'm wondering if I should follow the advice of like, okay, season 2 might be worth a try.
Yeah, it's kind of sort of like that type of problem.
Sure. Can work backwards if we somehow end up loving season 2 so much, like, oh, we don't know what anybody else was talking about. Iron Fist is my jam.
But then when you see,
you're going to get in trouble with Gator then.
Then it's just going to be like, you guys are lapping up a series that like has the main actor not even be an actual martial artist. Doesn't even do his own stunts.
Apparently one of season 1's problems was he had to learn the choreography really on the fly, and everybody I've read or talked to says it does show.
Yeah, why didn't they get a guy that knew or put in a stunt double?
Yeah,
that's so easy.
Yeah, it seems like the recurring cry you'll hear again and again is that the poor guy was just miscast.
Yeah. Who would you have liked to seen in the main lead as Iron Fist if you could cast anybody that you wanted? Money is no issue. But they have to be alive, of course.
No, I'm definitely thinking a bit more, maybe someone of Asian descent. Just because, or if it has to be someone non-Asian, maybe they could do what they did with like Guardians of the Galaxy and get like a. Okay, this might seem a stretch.
Yeah, well, you're
guy behind Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
That would be cool.
I feel like that is the only way it could work, even if he's not that tall. It's kind of sort of like the only thing I can think of that would
Rey
work.
Mysterio, luchador. I mean, granted, Iron Fist, he's a white guy who's supposed to be the master of martial arts or kung fu or whatever. I feel like you have the, you could pretty much make him any ethnicity. I feel like at that point it was like, the way he was originally, you're really not bound to much of anything. It's an easy way to slip in representation, but
I don't remember seeing him that much in comics.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a part of the Defenders. Usually with
he's
Luke
part
Cage
of the Defenders, but that's it.
But yeah, I feel like. Oh, sorry, good.
And also, like, usually teamed up with Luke Cage constantly.
Yeah.
That's usually the dynamic duo that he's usually in.
Yeah, well, I think they combined their series to save both comics, because Luke Cage was 70s blaxploitation comic, and Iron Fist was 70s martial arts film comic, and that their sales were flagging a bit, so they were hoping that team up would help them with. At least they'd have one series survive, and the funny thing is, I think it kind of worked. Like, I think that Iron Fist and Luke Cage is one of the longest running series in their history.
I know. It basically was like, it was a match made in desperation that turned out to be all the more for the best.
Yeah.
Mixing two elements that you wouldn't think would get along, but it turns it basically was peanut butter and chocolate.
With me, I was just like, it's a shame that Van Damme is too old. Else that could have been really fun.
I gotcha.
French Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Well, actually, though, the more recent points, like
skills.
if it must be faithful Iron Fist, weirdly, I kind of think, and granted, the younger you could get him, the probably better, maybe not too young for when he honestly wasn't a good actor, but I might say Keanu Reeves might be the guy for the role.
Honestly, if he wasn't like so big budgeted, it would work. But that's the thing. He's too big budgeted. Like, I mean, yes, Keanu Reeves will honestly be like probably like the very top, especially considering his famous line from The Matrix, "I know kung fu."
Yeah.
Shit.
Like seriously,
I mean, he would have to play Iron Fist a little more stoically. I feel like, he hasn't, like, as much as people have realized that he can honest to God slay his acting roles in that wheelhouse. I'm not sure how much he ever truly got outside that wheelhouse.
I mean,
Iron Fist, it seemed like they were trying to give him some of that young pup energy.
Yeah. But I guess now, like, moving on from like Marvel Cinematic Universe, because that stuff is definitely nice and good to talk about. But
we could sink into that all day. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about like the most current like episode of Pokemon for you, like which honestly feels like the second part of like a two-parter that I mentioned earlier to like my friends over here, which shows like the group of Ash alongside with the reunited family of Lily, Lusamine, Gladian, and their long-lost father, Moan, coming back to Alola for like a huge celebration party of like the reunion of like a lost family member and founding member of like the Aether Foundation, which was the villains team in Generation 7. Yeah, but since like they're not really villains anymore, it's all peachy keen.
Okay.
Yeah, like everyone is like celebrating, like we basically get like this promise of like a battle royale between Ash, the second place winner of the Alola League, Gladian, Kiawe semi-finalist from the Alola League, and basically Ash's like best friend rival, like from the Alola season, and his father figure, Professor Kukui, like basically going in like a 4-man match, and it's like it basically like and before like even the battle royale starts, like Kukui tells like Ash like I'm not gonna don like the mask of like the mask royal, like tomorrow's gonna be like you're gonna be the protagonist here. You're the Alolan champion. The people are gonna need to see you like show support, especially considering what's going on with you being up in like in the Masters 8 for like the World Coronation Series. And it's like it really dawns on you. It's like he is legitimately the only one like representing Alola in the entire tournament, and it's just so much like, well, he really is the one representative for this entire region, and it's kind of amazing. Like, and when the battle royale happens, like we basically see Ash going in with like Pikachu as like his main mon, Kukui going in with like his Incineroar, like Kiawe coming in with like his Alolan Marowak, which is a ghost fire type.
Yeah.
And then Gladian comes in with the surprise pick of choosing Lily as his Pokemon. And when I mean Lily, of course I mean the Ultra Beast, that Lily Lily had his father like in like an ice cabin for the past 10 years.
Oh, that makes more sense. I was just like, what? How?
Yeah.
Some long lost fathers.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like basically it's like a giant like alien jellyfish that's like a shiny Pokemon that's like a rock poison type.
That sounds weird.
Yes,
is that a wholly new one or?
Ultra Beast. It
Ultra
like a pseudo legendary with like their stats being like 600. Yeah, like they were they're made to be known as like alien invaders with like how odd their designs were in comparison to usual Pokemon. Like some of the Ultra Beasts literally had no eyes, including this jellyfish. It has no eyes. It doesn't even have a mouth. It's
Oh,
just
the
tentacles with
jellyfish.
a
Yeah,
head.
now I know which one it is because it overtakes the lady.
Yeah, Lusamine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lucina. Oh, now, yeah.
Remember when you first brought up that
Pictures
episode?
of
Yeah.
that one.
Remember you
Yeah.
first brought up the episode 2, you mentioned long lost fathers, and it was like, oh, Ashes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's one ship that sailed and never came back, huh?
And basically got replaced with like a father figure in the form of Kakui. Generation 7.
Sort of. I think the only candidate that was ever remotely teased in anything was Giovanni.
Which was discredited because, literally in Generation 2, it is revealed that he has a son that he abandons by the name of Silver.
Yeah, well, that's in the games, presumably, but, I don't know, it seemed like the anime could have well intended that. The original one could have, well and truly been saving that as the possibility, because, yeah, we do get mentions, or at least a mention of Ash's dad there. He and Giovanni never actually saw each other. They would just miss each other, like Giovanni would beat the bejesus out of Gary and then take off for a special mission just as Ash is showing up at his gym, and the thing with you two and that who would break free of Giovanni just before Ash came face to face with him. The fact that we even had a musical go that route or something like that, it seemed like it might have been a possibility they were considering, but like a lot of things Pokemon, they really pulled out hard of any concrete end to pretty much anything once they realized that this was going to be a long-running, sustainable franchise. But, anyway, though. Go battle.
I guess we can move.
Yeah. Summertime
I guess we
talk.
can move on.
So, wait, sorry. I just had to mute it for a bit. But, basically, it all leads to, a moment that, you would never imagine that, in 20 years. That, an entire stadium of people begins cheering, champion, champion, to, our dear old Ash. And it's just, one of those shaky moments that, you just can't help but shed a tear at if you've been following the anime for 2 decades. To see, this moment happen to him, and it's just are you seriously giving me this now? You can't be giving me the emotions now. This is not even the Master's Ace. Oh, God. It's like being given, the biggest pep cheer, the pep speech from, an entire crowd of people that you might not even know all their names.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a magical moment that I don't think can really be replicated, considering, how long the series has gone on for. And this is why I consider all the Alola episodes to be literally the best episodes of Journeys, because of writing quality like this. Giving the fans, some cheerful moments like this, it kind of makes you think, yeah, Alola wasn't bad. Alola was literally one of the best things ever happened to the anime.
Yeah. It seems like, for a while, the Pokemon franchise was just afraid of doing anything like this, anything that suggested Ash reaching a level this high, because they would lose their recyclability.
Yeah.
And,
but
now we gotta wonder if they're right or not. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, they finally changed their tune around Gen 6, with Gen 6 being the finalization of the whole 8 gym badge method. And we don't even know if we're even going back to that with Gen 9. So yeah. But all in all, the episode was very much fantastic. It's like Journey still feels like a hit or miss series, but when it hits, oh my god, it hits. But when it misses, oh man, you really wish that you would watch any other show. That's just how it feels. Like even like the good can outweigh the bad at some points. So yeah, like I guess aside from that, oh yeah, Digimon Ghost Game came out with like an episode like recently, bringing back Digitamamon, the Egg Ultimate Digimon, if you recall from season 1 and season 2.
My favorite is Ranamon. I really like
Like,
what was it, the Digimon 2000s?
Renamon
Never
was from
completed it though.
Tamers. Renamon was from Tamers from the 3rd season. But like Digitamamon is literally like the egg Digimon with like green feet that like had like a Swedish accent in the dub. Yeah, like it basically comes out like an episode in which it reveals to like the audience that it's like best friends with like one of the partner Digimon of the series, and Goromon, the fat rabbit Digimon, and basically the title of the episode is Cannibal House.
Oh, jeez.
In which case we see Digitamamon literally devour 2 humans alive and then spit out nothing but sand and their clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Family friendly. PG.
Yeah, and it's then revealed that those weren't the only victims. Like, multiple families were consumed.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And when, like, the entire group finds out about this, and Digitamamon wanting to, like, see, like, his friend again and, like, his human partner, he decides to want to go and eat all their human partners. And in a sickening motion, it's kind of revealed that his mentality is literally that of, like, you do know that humans basically are, like, the apex predator of this world, right? Eating all lower forms of animals, right? So why can't we do the same as Digimon? Since they consider lower than us, essentially, in his mind. And then Angoromon is just going for, like, the whole empathetic, like, please stop this. You don't have to do this, man. And then he doesn't listen. And even though it looks like Hero's gonna steal like another Digimon by going into his ultimate form with like a Gamamon becoming like a white dragon, and Goromon actually goes for the kill shot, killing his best friend. And it's like literally like the first time any of these Digimon actually intentionally kill a Digimon in this season, aside from like the Dark Digi-evolutions. So yeah, it's kind of all messed up, and it doesn't even end the same way as usual of like Angoromon reciting a poem, because in canon he's literally mentally distraught at the thought of actually killing his best friend. It's exceeding. Yeah, like it has like a shorter cast, but the fact that they give certain Digimon actual focus episodes instead of like having them be like sort of like XPs of their human counterparts, kind of makes this season a lot more intimate with like knowing like these characters' personalities and such, and then just seeing what horrors like are awakened, seeing like all these travesties happen when Digimons like try to like integrate with human existence, or try to get their own selfish desires in a mysterious world that they have no knowledge or knowing what to do with themselves. It's kind of like that sort of type of season, and people are hoping, even though it's very slice of life with the horror stuff, that it hopefully might boil down to like a final conflict of like it essentially being a human versus Digimon war, because of how bad of an issue it's been with like the Digimon not being able to coexist, even accidentally killing some humans, or intentionally killing humans with some of them. Yeah, like the show has not been friendly with like not only Digimon deaths but also human deaths. It's like pretty soon there's going to be like a major notice that like these hologram ghosts are being an actual menace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not your childhood's Digimon. This is horror movie film Digimon.
Yeah, we need some of those sometimes. Although,
but I guess to move on to the news.
Oh yes, go into the news.
But I'll leave the one movie thing till the end just because I think someone has something more to say about it. Just so go over the quicker things is, well, first off, like Make Your Mark is it was released. I haven't really known the reception yet, but we'll eventually get to it. But I really have no idea what the reception is because I'm sort of going in blind, but it has been released, so that's a news thing.
I have seen a couple of notes saying that the reception might be cute, not great. So
that's what I was guessing, just because I haven't heard like.
Wait, are we talking about the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that. No, the Make Your Mark.
No, the other movie.
I said that will be the last of the news story because I have a feeling you would have a lot to say on it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just doing the other shorter ones first. And then the other one is sort of we got more info about the Mattel park, like theme park opening up in Arizona. Yeah, where it's going to be themed of different Mattel products, including like a Hot Wheels roller coaster and go-karts, because of course the go-karts part makes sense. Barbie and like I think they're gonna have a putt-putt course like themed after their board games and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a Mattel theme park coming up soon. And then the other big news story was the release through streaming of the Chip and Dale thing, which Carlos, I know you're more the expert than me on this, so.
We actually did watch that, and I almost forgot too.
You almost forgot about watching that movie.
Yeah, forgot to bring it up. I guess we were trying to, in a rush, get through everything.
I gotcha. Well, I'd like to begin by saying my thoughts about this movie, which is, I might consider it to be movie of the year right now.
Movie of the year?
For animated movie of the year. Just because, I don't know, because like in terms of like actual movie of the year, I probably would give it to Sonic 2.
Which is also, you could argue, an animated movie.
Well, yeah, a lot more animated than the original movie, but yeah. I'm just saying, like, right now for Chip and Dale, well, color me whiskers, we got ourselves a modern Roger Rabbit movie again.
Right.
Yeah.
The two are pretty darn comparable because of the depictions of cartoons and people living in this world together, but
and also private detective stories.
Yeah. I will say though, where Roger Rabbit just had that je ne sais all-time classic, Chip and Dale was fun. Like, I don't know if this one's going down in history the same way. I think that the pandering to internet schmucks like myself was good for a couple laughs, but I mean was on the nose right out of the gate. Got tiresome before too long, and probably just not aged that well.
Yeah, like certain characters will not be recognized within like 10 years' time easily, even though they're kind of important for a certain movie franchise. But yeah, it's like Chip and Dale in terms of like a movie. I really have a lot of positives, but then there's just one glaring negative that brings up a controversy that I feel like is valid and holds weight to how you could easily view this movie. and whether or not you can easily denounce Disney for even having this happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Way out.
Well, right now, it's kind of like sort of like the whole controversy about the main villain of the movie, actually. Sweet Pete. And how it relates to the unfortunate history of Disney's mistreatment of one Bobby Driscoll of Peter Pan fame.
Yeah, Bobby Driscoll described his life as carried on a silver platter and dropped into a trash can.
Yeah. Like, the completely eerie, like, nearly one-for-one similarities between both the character and the original voice actor. It's just kind of too scary not to notice, and really...
Did Bobby Driscoll try to scam anyone at any point?
No, it's kind of more about, like, the involvement about drugs.
Okay.
With, like, how, like, in the movie, he's kind of sort of like a fantasy drug dealer, in a sense. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they actually did know that, because, I don't know, Peter Pan... For one, Peter Pan does not seem to be the most easily rebooted property, surprisingly. Like, I think so many films and shows and what have thrown their hat into the Peter Pan ring, and I don't think any scale had any of them as a universal success. There's a few I like, and yeah, I should have opinions on this one because Peter Pan was my favorite animated movie growing up. Like, yeah. So, like, I don't know, it pulled me into... Basically, yeah. Disney Peter Pan got me so hard when I was a kid, I probably still have to consider it a favorite movie on some level because period ever got me like that. Not really, I'd have to say. 10 years of vivid dreams about being able to fly? Yeah, probably not. But,
no wonder why you're a Pegasus.
Yeah, but not only has... Yeah, that probably is true, too. Not only has it proven tough to bring back, everybody seems to want to, like, have their own spin, their own say on it. Once upon a time, wanted to be like, I don't know, sounds pretty dark to me, which, okay, you guys haven't read the original story. It's like no Sherlock, but, yeah.
Then there was, like, Hook.
You what?
Then, remember about the movie Hook?
Yeah, Hook clearly has read the original story. It's still fan fiction because the reason it comes up with for why this would happen, I mean, it's very Spielbergian. It's, yeah, like, the notion that, like, you could ever ground Peter with such relatively, for such relatively pedestrian reasons. I mean, the story more or less covers that. He's just some kind of self-sustaining loop almost, but that just doesn't... Yeah, it's hard to pull away. I mean, it, like, the power of love winning out, I mean, in Spielberg's world, that is enough of a force, and I mean, you could argue should be in real life. It's not the worst answer anyone came up with, but
and then there was, like, the more recent inclusions of the Tinkerbell movie franchise, and then the whole preschool show of Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Yeah, that giant face palm. There's even been a couple of art house attempts. One called Neverland, about, yeah, Peter Pan with no magic, essentially. Try to do it that way. And one called Wendy, which is, Peter Pan with, it's a very offbeat take. Peter Pan where only the never growing up is supernatural. It tries to, like, ground it real hard in sort of a YA type story. I actually really like that one, but a lot of people didn't get, like, that. Like, those are more what the darkness of Peter Pan is supposed to look like, and I don't think anybody's ready for that. It's, yeah, something like Once Upon a Time is a very pop culture sort of dark that doesn't seem to realize that J.M. Barrie was way ahead of them on that in the original story, so... But, okay, yeah, everybody wants their own say on it, and nobody seems to have been a universal success, and now we have this from Chip and Dale, which is something to talk about. Like, I mean, surprisingly, you think I'd be the first one with a torch and a pitchfork? I didn't mind it so much, it's just because nobody with Chip and Dale is really including Chip and Dale, are really being used as their original versions so much as this, goofy pop culture world reimagining. It's like, I guess it's kind of nice to see Peter Pan get some kind of a spotlight, even if it's just an elbow in the ribs. Some of the internal logic is kind of weird, like Peter grows up but his lost boy doesn't, and the movie even seems aware of that.
Yes.
I can see people, though, because, I mean, it's just it's anything but a respectful take on the character, so I could see people having a lot of reactions to this. I could see it being a slam on, being taken as a slam on nostalgic fans who won't grow up or who grow up poorly and maladjusted. The child star thing, which is a huge controversial issue in general. And Bobby Driscoll, who, he was a tragedy in a league of his own.
Yeah, the fact that Disney's the one who's saying this story kind of makes it seem like maybe you don't have the right to say a statement about this, considering that you were the guys who did it to him, like over 50 years ago. Yeah, that's why.
In fact, Cell-Spec suggested that maybe it would have probably been more deserved and more fun if the bad guy had been like the actual people who make mockbusters, the studios, just doing anything and stepping over anyone to line their pockets.
Yeah, like if it was like say Golden Times. Like if you watch like the reviewer Phalis, he does a lot of mockbuster reviews constantly.
Shit. I always thought his horror movie reviews were funnier. I don't watch as much Phalis anymore.
I see. But it just like all in all, like the story, like even though I'm not a Chip and Dale fan like that, because that was never my childhood thing. I really did appreciate a lot of like the characters here, like even with some of the poor acting from a certain live action actress. It's just it just really feels like in the end, like the movie ends up with a lot more positives for like the references, like the duality of the story. I feel like, which doesn't really get talked about, in which it felt more like a two-sided matter of like both sides not talking about their internal machinations for like why their relationship broke up like that.
Yeah.
Which I think it was actually a hidden strong part of the movie, which I don't think anyone really gives credit to it for. Like, it has a very simple story, but the actual deeper conflict of it actually feels like there's a reason why these two good acting friends really broke up like that. It might have seemed very much like
that buddy film charm, that sort of animosity to love, and the whole. Well, I mean, I'm saying the usual buddy comedy formula. It taps into a lot of what works about those, is what I'll say.
So yeah, like I guess that's all I gotta say about the movie. All right, you could go ahead and do your conclusion about it.
Yeah, I mean, not too far off. I think it taps into a lot of that. That buddy comedy charm. I think that, and a lot of that nostalgic reboot charm in spite of itself. I mean, like I still don't think it's a Roger Rabbit, but it beats out a lot of those, Tom and Jerry, the Smurfs, I mean, it knows. It has a pretty good concept, I think, of what people came to see. Chip and Dale, despite the fact that their voices are totally different. I mean, they still have Chippendale's loosely they have Chippendale's personalities, the serious one and the goofy one, and the solving a mystery. It's like kind of meta commentary and semi-faithful at the same time. And I think that, yeah, there was definitely a lot more enthusiasm and creativity behind this than a lot of the more rote reimaginings. So, yeah, I don't think it's the disappointment some people were making it out to be. I think it's the 7 out of 10 mid-tier of madcap multi-universe fun sanity.
Yeah.
Meta-universe.
For me, it was only a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry.
Well, you're one of the ones disappointed, huh?
Well, I'm not disappointed. I'm just like, this is what I thought it was going to be. I don't know if that makes any sense. I guess it's kind of disappointment. I don't know.
Okay, so she came down more on the mess side of it.
Yeah, well, like, it was okay. There was a couple of things I thought was funny, but nothing where I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Like, I think like the only thing I really liked was the remix of the main theme song that happened once or twice.
I agree with them. Just want to hear the original.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like remixed songs, I think can really work. Like, I think the first Equestria Girls actually had a really good remix of the My Little Pony theme song. That's the first time I ever got hyped by that song. But yeah, this, like, I don't know, it just seemed slower and drearier. So we're reversed on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think we're all waiting to get to the summer stuff now. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's just that stuff. But I think probably Chip and Dale will be equal in part as the like subject of this week. But yeah, I just don't have any 2 cents to throw in it just because I haven't seen it yet. I've seen some clips, which the only thing I have to really say is the questionable romance that like the parent couple in there is like, okay, that just seems weird.
Yeah. Went a little far there.
Yeah, my only reaction is like, I guess they really didn't want her gadget to end up with one Chip or Dale, so they went with, okay, who's someone else?
Mm-hmm.
Heck, we got Dragon and Donkey. I think anything else is just after party at this point.
But yeah, I guess we can move on to
animated
summer.
film of the year. Turning Red is technically 2022, so I think, and Bad Guys as well. I think Chip and Dale is probably overmatched.
But yeah, I guess move on to summer stuff. Which I guess I say this is a sort of a loose topic just because it's like Memorial Day weekend, sort of the kickoff of summer, pools opening up and all that. I just thought like, what are your all sort of plans for the summer, or just sort of like excitement with it, or just like stuff like that? Even if it's not necessarily summer related. Like, I know TrotCon is one thing that's not necessarily summer related, but that's one thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's going to be pretty fun. Yeah, Day and I are going to have a busy weekend there because we have, I guess the plan right now is to TrotCon and then skip over to something else we were planning to do all the way down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because that's going. I hope.
It'll be a heck of a weekend.
Oh.
I wish I had more. Yeah, feelings drummed up here. I feel like right now the main thing I'm thinking about is the flipping around career right now. I'm in the middle of changing jobs and then trying to get my side passion project going. Try to get my online degree there, or online certification there. But yeah, so I might be getting a little too old after all. I find myself splitting hairs of that instead of getting excited for the fact that I'm gonna probably go to TrotCon and martial arts con, I'll call it, and finally go back to Kennywood after like 4 or 5 years. The big Pittsburgh amusement park has picked up a couple of supposedly slam bang roller coasters and I love roller coasters. So yeah, apparently some real good ones. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's something that's going to happen in the future.
And a full night's sleep.
Man.
Yes.
Also, yeah, I forgot to ask. Did he? Speaking of Kennywood, I forgot to ask. Did you get that one video?
Boring, but okay, what's your question?
I said, did you get that one video I sent you from Defunct Land where he was going over the Garfield the ride? The history of it.
I did. Oh yeah, I still have to. Like I looked at the first few seconds of that. Was like, yeah, like I might sit down and watch that with Dave. But yeah, I could tell you what you need to know about that before seeing the video. And I mean, I'm still gonna watch it because Defunct Land is great, and I want to see what he has to say. But yeah, like growing up, Kennywood's old mill ride was. I think people actually just called it the old mill. It was like a haunted house sort of thing. You'd go through it, and it was. I mean, I don't know if anybody was honestly scared of it, but I mean, it was cool looking visuals and stuff. The decaying bodies and skeletons and the.
That sounds great.
Good haunted house stuff, and then yeah, somewhere in my teen years, they inexplicably changed it to. Garfield's Nightmare Adventure, where you put on 3D glasses and you watched a bunch of Garfield scenes that, like, vaguely humorous, what Garfield in distress would look like. Garfield's nightmare about the food is after him or something like that. And the first time you went on it was enough for you. I don't remember anybody on that ride, like, yeah, that year saying that they liked it or that they were happy for the changeover. It just felt so profoundly lame. Once was enough for everybody I ever talked to. If anybody mentioned it at all, it was because they missed the old mill. And yeah, now lo and behold, it's gone and the old mill is back. And yeah, again, it's an old mill ride. I think the actual title is like Haunted something or other, but yeah. Everybody just calls it the old mill, and that's the rallying cry in Pittsburgh now. The old mill is back, and nobody misses Garfield's nightmare.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with Kennywood, like, was not with that, but was they were getting rid of the Kangaroo Ride, and then like so much people were upset about it, they brought it back. Which, for context, everyone is like, it's a spinning ride, but like it also goes over a little ramp and like basically flings you up in the air a little bit.
Hops. It is no thrill ride. I think it was almost Kennywood's mascot somehow. Kennywood's mascot for a while seemed to be a kangaroo, so that might have had something to do with it. I will say there were rides I would have swapped out before the kangaroo. Yeah, it was a cute little something different, nothing more, nothing less. Pure nostalgia is probably what saved it.
Also, it's like apparently like the last or the only one at least left in the U.S. of that ride.
Yeah, that too. Then. Couldn't hurt. Although, oh yeah, to an extent, there's probably some truth in what Jim Gaffigan said about amusement parks. Like, yeah, that people really considered this entertainment back in the day. Some of the stuff that's left in Disney World, for example. How about bumper car goes into a dark room and there's a picture of Winnie the Pooh? Or how about we stick him in a barrel and throw him over a waterfall? We've got their money. What are they going to do? Yeah.
Oh, then there's also Splash Mountain, which they're in the process of removing because its connection to Song of the South. What was it? I can't remember whichever that one song was.
Zippity doo da
I
zippity
like
day.
I think it's called Song
My
of the South. Like, it's that one band Disney movie that they don't want. But like apparently like
the Country Bears.
not Country Bears, but like yeah, like Splash Mountain is connected to that, so they're sort of like retheming that too. Apparently, I think they're in the process of it because COVID sort of interrupted it, and also Disney's not exactly fast with switching out stuff. To what's it called, Princess and the Frog themed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. The world's a changing. You know, hopefully this summer will catch me by surprise. It'll be like, hey, let's get back to having fun again. Even though, considering what the world is going through at this particular point in time, you almost feel bad for even thinking that because, like, how can we just, yeah, go through the last few years and feel like we still haven't hit the climax yet of all this, yeah, history in the making, world in turmoil? I don't know, but
yeah,
that's kind of how it feels.
that was my one of my favorite like Facebook images I've seen is like someone's like, okay, can we stop being like the people in the history books now?
I would not mind, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like we've had a lot of under the surface stuff for a long time that's just exploded and is one way or another gonna have to get its reckoning before anyone moves on.
But yeah, I guess for my plans, like
Something
I
like
always,
I just yeah.
I was saying, like, what continue what you're saying, finish it off.
Um, I don't know, like these random things I come across a while back. I think I posted this to was on a Ulysses S. Grant kick for no reason whatsoever, and apparently he actually, in addition to his complex legacy, had one of the best autobiographies ever written. He closed it out by just something with this quote that I'm not gonna come up with it right now because I can't even remember how to spell his name, but yeah, like something about the time period he'd just gotten out of and lived in, and he said, yeah, two sides. With equal passion, even if one of them had the was unjustifiable in my opinion. Two sides threw themselves at each other with absolute certainty, absolute belief that they were right, and only one of them was able to win. And yeah, like basically what a profound and tragic and unavoidable thing it was. And then before moving on to how, in spite of it all, he did have hope for the future, that the world was going to reconcile with itself and move forward and, yeah, reach these better times. And I mean, in the context of the modern world, that was enough to bring a tear to your eye, especially since what he was talking about feels so much in the same vein of now. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like we're almost in a sequel to his book. So I hope he was right in a nutshell. So yeah, getting heavy there, but DC was about to give us his hopes on a lighter note.
Yeah, well, like your plans sort of touched on some of mine, which, like I said, TrotCon, hopefully, like knock on wood, like we are living in a turbulent time, so stuff. I like to say I don't like to jinx things by saying plans, but yeah, that's one thing I hope to try to do. Um, so I'll actually sort of the opposite of summer thing, but yeah, I hope to find a job finally during the summer. So sort of an anti-summer thing to do, but yeah, that's one thing I want to find. Um, but yeah, the my main sort of plans like TrotCon I want to try to go to, and also like I said, hit up a few theme parks because like I said, I think I'm mentioning it here, but not yeah. My sort of plan is try to conquer and sort of get control of my fear of roller coasters and all that. So been hitting up my local Kings Island recently a lot, and then going to hit up a few other parks around here too. So making progress. I still have to do an inverting coaster. But yeah, sort of having fun and then going to a water park for the first time in a while, and hopefully enjoy the end of the pandemic. Knock on wood.
Sure.
Yeah, then there's like a monkeypox pandemic pumping out right now too. So it's like,
yeah. Hopefully that's a lot more come and go.
Yeah, just sort of try to get out and do something. There's not really any movies I can think of summer-wise I'm excited about, but I'm probably going to watch some if that makes sense.
Thor
'Cause I
Love
can't
and
really-
Thunder sounds like it might be fun. It's got the Thor Ragnarok director. It's got Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth teamed up proper, which sounds like it's going to be pretty darn good. Like, yeah, I mean, like, I think people, when Jane Fonda became Thor in the comics, I think, like, I mean, it seemed like there was some concern. Well, what about Odinson? Like, we still like him, and I think, Thor has his axe, Jane has the hammer. I think, like, I could see that being a hell of a duo.
But yeah, there's that, and I know there's Top Gun that's coming out, but I'm about that because I feel like it'll be too pandering and all that. Like, I will try to be non-offensive and just sort of be generic because of it.
Yeah. Like, I was indifferent as all heck because, I mean, the first Top Gun is just supposed to be some fun little slice of 80s cheese. The sequel is at this point in time getting smash rave reviews, which I really didn't see coming. Like, how do you even do that? The closest thing I can think of is sort of like how Creed 2 is a sequel to Rocky 4, another slice of 80s cheese, like hardcore 80s cheese that's genuinely considered a pretty good follow-up and movie, but I mean, like, Top Gun, is the difference from those two versus, like, what this new Top Gun is currently being called. It, like, Top Gun kind of dwarfs it. So, I don't even know what to think.
Currently, that is surprising because apparently it's a 97 on Rotten Tomato. It's surprising because I was just worried it'll be too because like they censored his original uniform and all that to sort of get rid of Taiwan and Japanese insignia just because they want to try to get in their theaters in China. And in that regard, I knew like there probably won't be any actual enemy pilots fighting because the obvious next basically Top Gun enemy that he would run into would probably be pilots over Taiwan Strait or something like that, or like Chinese pilots, and it's like, they're not going to do that, so they're probably just going to do drones, rogue drones.
I honestly don't even know. What it even takes. Pandering, heartfelt follow-up, revisionism, flip the script, completely faithful. How do you go from Top Gun 1 to smash rave reviews? I can't even imagine. What I'm saying is I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither, because like I said, I didn't expect it to do good at all either, so probably we'll see at some point. It actually would probably be a good drive-in movie, which is another thing I got to go back to.
Been one of those for a while. I have some things to show Daylover here. Drive-in movies, Kennywood Park. So, talk to me after the summer. I'll tell you if I manage to get psyched up for it then.
Or if you got me up in anything at all.
Oh yeah, you with your height sickness. I didn't say you had to go on a roller coaster.
Yeah, they have a lot of flat rides at Kennywood.
Yeah, they do. Hey.
Like, I think the wildest I can go on is water rides. I like those ones.
Shit, we'll see. Kennywood has some water rides that are something to see if you have height sickness. I think I cut off DC again, though. There, sorry.
Oh no, I was just listening to the conversation. I was just saying, like, yeah, there are a lot of flat rides and all that. Like you were saying, you don't really consider kangaroo thing, but yeah, stuff like that where it's basically family flat rides. Which, if you're not really interested in like roller coasters, there are those you can ride.
Yeah, I'll find something to get her on.
There's also apparently some very world famous potato fries. So.
Shit. Really, if I were more of a, the fries with that gluey cheese, if that was more my thing, I might have more to say about that. But yeah, they're talked about.
All right. But Carlos, you want to toss anything into this before?
Are we closing out?
Just something about like looking forward to my birthday in some regard, but that's really it. That's really all I have for this summer.
Yeah. Well, to celebrate Gator birthday.
Woo, happy birthday!
Yeah, that's probably a better end note than potato patch fries.
Potato patch fries.
In fact, the summer is my own birthday too. A birthday, I mean.
So you two, like, what months is your birthday? Like
August.
All right, so it's late summer for you.
July.
Oh yeah.
All right, so yeah, about mid and late summer.
And the day is September, so yeah. Boy, we've got the birthday train coming July, August, September. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yep. But yeah, I guess with that said, guess probably see you soon for next time, which will be our actual react to the G5 Make Your Mark. I already mentioned that, yeah, the names are confusing me, but yeah, the special that just dropped in Netflix.
That one.
What story surpassed its animation quality?
See Rambo 1.
But yeah, will it surpass its animation we've seen in a preview, or will it just sort of land? We'll find out. And what were you saying? Oh yeah, you also have the Rambo 2 you have to get to.
Yeah, I still have to see the other Rambo movies that aren't 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting at least seeing your second, like, on 2, and also pay attention to the credits to the third one, because there's some interesting like thank yous in there that are.
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I guess see you on.
Gonna be waiting on my. Yeah, there we go. That's a little more what I expected reaction.
Yeah, like definitely see you next time. I'm kind of like a bit exhausted from like the shopping before. Like my arm still is reeling. It's kind of hurting actually.
Yeah, looks like we're all exhausted. Good night, everybody.
Yep. I mean, it is technically almost 10, so yeah. See you all.